who lives in a pineapple under the sea, SpongeBob SquarePants. I have this song stuck in my head all day. Don't know why. Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video that you all have been requesting. I was going to do both beauty and makeup special effects essential kit items for if you're going to do makeup as a profession into one video, but it's going to be so long that I'm going to do it into two parts. So today is going to be the beauty makeup essentials kit, and in a couple of days on this channel we will upload the special effects makeup essentials kit. So there's a lot of things. Let's get started. This is for people who want to do makeup as a profession, or maybe just like a really intense hobby if you have some money laying around, because it costs money to do makeup. No matter if you're gonna buy drugstore or cheap items or high-end, it costs money to get into makeup. But if you think you're amazing and think you could do it, I would suggest practicing a lot almost every night and investing in yourself in your future in this kit. If you're gonna do weddings, if you're gonna do photo shoots, if you're gonna do commercials, television, movies, you may need to know what everything is inside the product. What I mean is all the ingredients in your makeup. If you're gonna go on set and you have that little train case of your makeup, and you have to be prepared always. You have to like be a Hogwarts student where you know every ingredient that goes into your potion, girl. Makeup is a lot more complicated than people think it is if you're going into a profession. There's long hours, so you need to make sure you have everything on hand. You just can't rely on borrowing from everybody. So yes, and a lot of times you're not just working with a team of people, it's by yourself, girl. So sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere. So we're gonna get into what I would suggest to go into your beauty essentials makeup kit and what I can think of off the top of my head. I have a list on my phone. There was a lot. First of all, before you're gonna put the makeup on your actual face, you need a primer. A lot of primers I'm allergic to, and the Nivea Skin Men's Post Shave Balm for sensitive skin is great, but I am highly allergic to it, so I don't know if you should use that on sensitive skin people. What I would suggest, depending if you have sensitive skin people, you have to ask people if they're allergic to liquid latex all the time before the client sits down into your chair, because that means you may not be able to use a lot of eyelash glue brand names because they have liquid latex in it, and you might not be able to use certain makeup sponges because they also have latex in it, and if they're allergic to silicone or something. What I would suggest, which is alcohol-free, silicone-free, oil-free, is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, and it makes the face more moisturized, and it's good for all types of skin tones. I haven't heard of anybody breaking out from this, and it's very quick spray. You can let it dry a little bit while you're setting up a little bit on your station. And the next thing you're going to need is foundation. If you have the money to spend on high-end foundations, good for you. You might need one though for oily skin tones and for completely dry desert skin tones like mine that flake a little bit. You need to moisturize. You might want a little bit of a moisturizer other than this, maybe a very sensitive skin dermatologist approved moisturizer. I know that's very complicated, but maybe you'll need it. Something that doesn't have sunscreen in it, because sunscreen puts a flash white cast on the face. Depending on if you're doing what type of photo shoot, you just want to be careful. But you need different types of skin tones of foundations. The CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous is one of my favorites, but the absolute favorite for photo shoots and when I'm on set is the Revlon Color Stay for a drugstore foundation. Le Maquillage, I think that's how you pronounce it. I have a whole palette, let me get it. This, my friends, is really expensive and really good for set makeups. Depending if you're going to do just a regular beauty makeup, high fashion makeup, this you could build up from dewy and natural to like more coverage and nice. If you don't have that, I would suggest drugstore. This is also the Maybelline Fit Me, which is good for older people and younger people, and it's very, very dewy. They have this in matte and dewy finish. And you want to think about people who you're going to put makeup on, from children to seniors. So of course you wouldn't put as much makeup on children. You might just put some lip gloss and a little touch of blush and just fill in a little brow maybe on children. Who knows? Whatever their parent who is there or the director or whoever is choreographing the whole show, girl, would want you to do on the child. Another thing you might need for, especially if you buy this, it's so expensive, I don't know about, oh yes, I got a huge discount on this and I went to a workshop for it. But this is a makeup mixer for cream so that you could turn cream, like thicker foundations, into a lighter type tone for the skin that could be almost like a tinted moisturizer, so you could build this up like I said. Now, let's get into concealers. NYX has great correctors for the eyes, so does Sonia Kashuk. That's drugstore. My favorite drugstore concealer though is the LA Girl Pro concealers, the HD high definition ones. If you know your color correcting, this is great. But if you don't know your color correcting, I would not suggest this. I would suggest like a NARS Creamy Concealer. Concealers that you know work good on all skin tones. These are for under the foundation and mixing in with them to correct under eye circles, redness in the face, blue tones, those type of things. But if you're not into color correcting or don't know much knowledge about it, I would get like a Cinema Secrets or some sort of cream palette of correctors and concealers. Like even if you go for a Bobbi Brown Girl, good for you. But if you're just starting out with the basics of beauty makeup, these will do the trick in practice with color correcting. Now let's talk about setting the makeup. There are two different types of setting powders. Well, there's yellow tone, that's banana powder for more deep skin tones. I don't have that on hand. And when I'm doing a set makeup for people who are all skin tones, I will use a translucent no color powder, and that's what these are. There's two different types of translucent no color powders. This one's the original RCMA no color powder that you hear everybody on Instagram, YouTube, and everybody in the industry use. But the problem with this is it contains a whole amount of silica and talc, which talc is known, they found all types of studies from scientists and lab people that talc is not good for your skin and it could cause like ovarian cancer, they say, and I don't want to risk that on beauty makeup. I will more likely put this on top of prosthetics or any type of thick, heavy, layered special effects makeup because it will less likely absorb into the skin. What I use for beauty makeup is this Lunatic Cosmetics mattifying powder, and this is more pricier than this, and most, like, even people use baby powder on set if they're on a budget. But what this does not have in it is talc. Instead, it has other types of silica and more higher grade ingredients that are not talc, girl. So yeah, of course you could tell I've hit pan on this because I use this a lot. And what you want to do is, if you're using stuff from a pan and you've used this like on multiple people, after every person you need to be like medical grade sanitary. What I get is 99% isopropyl myricate to clean down my station and clean the tops of these so that I don't transfer from skin to skin on everybody on every brush. This is good to also soak your makeup brushes in on the side, and like it dries a lot quicker, so you could like put your brush in here, and I make a little station with like a little like cup of this in it with a little black like sponge to irritate the brush to get some of this in it and get the makeup out in between clients, because sometimes I will be on set and I will do 10 people or more, or if you're doing a wedding you will do like almost 20 people in one day. So yeah, make sure you have comfortable shoes on and wear all black. That's the most standard attire for most makeup artists. Now, before blush and contour, what I like to use on the face, this is just my preference, you could do this in any order you want, but I like to use highlighters before blush and contour, because I feel like if you layer the contour and blushes and bronzers on top of the highlighter, it will look more natural, like your skin's glowing from underneath everything. And these are like my go-to highlighters for all skin tones, and of course they're very pricey. You could also use a shimmery eyeshadow that's very blendable and buttery instead of these, because these are like what, $30 or more a piece. These are the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed Compact Powders in Moonstone and Champagne Pop. I would also suggest, if you could afford it, the new Becca Cosmetics with Jaclyn Hill collaboration of the whole palette of the different types of highlighters from Opal to Champagne Pop, and then there's like a more bronzy one. But these are the two for more dark skin tones. I think the Champagne Pop is more golden enough, but this is a little too dark for people with my skin tone. Sometimes I'll put this within eyeshadows and stuff, but this works really good. If I'm like a Kylie Jenner shade for videos, I will use this as highlighter. Moonstone is really good for lighter skin tones. Now, blushes. What I love to use is on set, and like bridesmaids and stuff is How About Them Apples by The Balm. And what's good about this, of course, it has like a huge mirror in it, but it also is like for cheeks and lips. I love anything that could multitask because you're carrying a lot of makeup and you really want to make sure that you don't carry like your whole entire makeup collection with you. I know you need to have everything, but you need to have multiple uses of things so you can save room, save space, save time instead of grabbing a whole bunch of things. You really need to strategize how you're going to set up your makeup kit. And this is really, really good because it has corals, peachy tones, dark reds, a little bit of a burgundy with this caramel, and these are good for lips and cheeks. You would just like take this out on a palette. Speaking of palettes, I don't have it on hand with me, but you get a metal spatula that's like cosmetic grade, and these are two different palettes. There's a smaller one that's metal, and then there's these ones that are acrylic, and I like this because it looks like a fancy makeup artist palette, which is more expensive, so you don't really need these, but these are so easier to clean. Then they also have disposable ones that are like wax pieces of parchment. I swear to God, they're just like parchment paper that you have from the bakery section, just put into like a little piece of notebook pad, which isn't my favorite, but when I was on a budget and just starting off on set makeup, I would use those to death because you go through so many. It's so much easier to like go through and have. Another thing you might need is face charts. Face charts like these are so good to plan makeups before you do a job. If you're doing a client or an actress or actor, you could remember the lip color used on them, the skin tone, foundation especially, and you'll always have that information. So if you're doing like a month-long project on the same person doing the same makeup every single day, you will always remember and have it on hand. That is very, very, very well thought out, and you can even make these yourself instead of paying for them and just make one picture of an outline of face and just photocopy it a lot. Speaking of blushes and contour, you need something that could work for multiple clients. So the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette is expensive but worth it. These are good for setting some under eyes, just like a matte base before you put your actual eyeshadow on. Like today's makeup, I only use this on my eyes and some highlighter, and that is it. And I also suggest, this is the Lunatic Cosmetics. This is a great, like what I said, multitasking things. You really want to think about those and invest in those. This is worth the money because it has cool tone and warm tone bronzing, like contouring tinge. These are more contour than bronzers. The Bit of a Hulu bronzer is a great bronzer for many skin tone types, but this also has some blushes in it, and this is one of my all-time favorite palettes, especially on set. This would be very good. And for lipsticks, this will definitely do you if you really want like that duo purpose palette. But if you want something more pigmented or something that's long lasting, like a liquid lip that's more matte or something, I would suggest these different types of colors of lipsticks. A red that works on almost all skin tones, a nude that could, maybe you need two nudes for one lighter skin tone person, one darker skin tone person, a corally peach shade that works on most skin tones. And what else I would suggest is, because I don't know if you're doing like a high fashion makeup or if they want, there's like the 90s grunge look that's really popular right now. Something like what I'm wearing today. This is Bow and Arrow by Kat Von D. Something that's more of a grungy, like sepia type brownish tone lipstick. Those are the four different lip shades I would suggest. And the two lip liners I would suggest you bring is a red, another lip color that'd be good to bring is a berry, a red lip liner and a nude lip liner. I really like NYX lip liners because they're cheap, affordable, and they work. Also, instead of this for using for blush, if you don't want to bring this for lips and blush, my all-time favorite blush company is Tarte. Their Amazonian Clay 12-hour blushes are amazing. And before you put on lipstick, you need chapstick. I would suggest the squeezy tube ones that you could put onto a palette and use on not just one person just spreading this on their lips. Just squeeze it out and then put it on someone's face. And it's a little rosy. Good stuff. What I would also suggest, if anyone has a cherry chapstick, even just like the cheap chapstick brand, a cherry one, because those are good for male makeups and children because they tint the lips slightly a more pink shade, but they don't look like actual lipstick. It looks like the natural lips, just shinier and a little bit more pink. Now let's get into mascara. This is a little bit debate with me when I'm on set. I usually just bring one type of mascara, and that is usually Maybelline's Great Lash, I think it is, the one, the pink tube that's really popular. That's a great formula mascara. It's been in the industry for years and years. But what I notice is I also get women who have, or men as well, who have contact in the regular mascara. If they're going to be doing a crying scene, you don't know if they're going to have water sprayed on them, you don't know if they have watery eyes in general, and that mascara will turn into raccoon eyes real quick. So my favorite waterproof mascara is the Butterfly Voluminous Waterproof Hydrofuge. Speaking of lashes, you need to have some false lashes. If you don't know how to put false lashes on because they're really difficult, you should practice before getting into the professional makeup field, because you will have to do them some way, somehow, on some job. What I would suggest is definitely you need a set of false eyelashes that are individuals. This is the Ardell individuals, and they come in short, and you can also get these in more long. I love Ardell's. This is the natural multi-pack, and I love the wispy multi-pack. The wispies are my favorite, and these are very good for beginners, and you might need to cut them down, and they're just really good. Red Cherry eyelashes are super cheap. You can get them online, and they are very great. 2 eyelash glues. One is, I think they're both liquid latex based. I would suggest you find one without liquid latex if you're going to be working on someone just in case who's allergic to liquid latex. But this is the standard that everyone uses, the duo eyelash glue. Make sure you have them in clear, because we're also going to need this for our special effects makeup kit. This is the House of Lashes eyelash adhesive, and this is so much easier to use and more heavy duty with a little wand. Make sure you get clear. You're also going to need an eyelash curler. I like this one because it has this little grippy for beginners, and it's a lot easier to use, I find, for some reason, than regular eyelash curlers. And you're going to need some tweezers for taking off and on eyelashes, just little things, and even when you're doing special effects makeup, this will be great. Now scissors. I would suggest you get the baby cuticle scissors and some regular hair scissors that I have a fake beard hair still in. That's disgusting. But these are both great for, I know you're not a hair person, but maybe you're gonna have to cut some extensions. Maybe you're gonna have to cut a bald cap. Who knows? Some eyelashes. You never know. Maybe you need to trim someone's little mustache out of their mouth, which is my favorite thing to do randomly. Eyeshadow primer. I would suggest you get one with the squeezy tube and not a wand. This is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which isn't my absolute favorite, but it will do. I love the Urban Decay one, and some eyeshadows. You're going to need an eyeshadow palette, maybe 1 or 2 or 3. You're going to need one that definitely has mattes and shimmers. This one is great because it's the Nude Tude, and this is good for all beauty makeups. And I just love the color variations in here of browns, blacks, burgundies, champagnes that are good for natural makeup. And you could even use like this white part as a highlighter shade for like the actual face, even though the pan's not that big. And this one is also a great recommendation for your kit, is Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I cannot tell you how many times I grab this palette for every day. This will go from day to night, from edgy to sophisticated beauty looks. I absolutely love this, and it has the snap closure that feels secure when you're traveling with it. Expecto Patronum with them disposable wands. Yes, you're going to need disposable wands, ones that you could throw away for mascara. When you get your mascara, what I like to do is you get these disposable wands, put it in the tube, and then put it on their lashes, but don't put that back in that tube because it's dirty and been on someone's face. You do not want to cause styes in people's eyes. Oh, it's disgusting. There's so many things you can do wrong and dirty in the makeup industry, and so you don't want to do that. And what I also like to get is applicator for lip glosses and lipsticks that are disposable, instead of washing tons and tons of lip brushes. Maybe you don't have like 20 lip brushes, so these really come in handy. Let's talk about them brows. I would suggest a brow powder. You could even use a eyeshadow from your nude palette that it has to be matte. You don't want no shimmery brows. You could even use like this sultry matte color as an eyebrow powder. If you don't have many high-end brow products like Anastasia Beverly Hills that has like the little spoolie thing at the end and like a tiny little thing to make individual brow hairs, you just use a regular eyebrow pencil, whatever you feel comfortable with and can afford. For eyeliners, if you're not confident with liquid liner and don't think you can do a really quick liquid eyeliner, I've been on set where I've had to finish someone's mascara, eyeliner, and lipstick in less than 5 minutes. And I only had liquid eyeliner. I was like, excuse me. I would suggest a pencil eyeliner. This one's a creamy one for the waterline, which is the Rimmel Scandalize, which I would really suggest. So I would get this and a regular pencil eyeliner because this is really creamy. I don't know if it's going to withhold on lights and sets, but this liquid eyeliner might. Or you use a gel eyeliner. Makeup finishing spray. NYX has some great ones. I like their dewy one, and they have a matte one. Get both of these. They're really cheap and they work. Another thing, you're going to go through so many of these is Q-tips and cotton swab pad things. There's so many times where you make a mistake and you get a Q-tip and like, let's fix that. Or just like maybe there's mascara crumbling under the bottom lash line, you get the Q-tip. Maybe you need to remove some eye makeup, get the cotton pad. There's so many things you could do with this, and you're gonna need a lot of them. You're gonna go through a lot of them. And this always saved my butt. These are eye makeup corrector remover Q-tips. They're really fun. So they're not too expensive, I don't think. And what you do is you snap it at this blue line, and all this eye makeup remover goes down to this bottom Q-tip. Saved me so many times when I messed up on a winged liner and I had to start over. You don't want to start over on the whole eye. You could just do that one corner that you need to start over. And it works so incredibly well. Just make sure you dry off the area that you use this on before you apply more makeup. Another thing you're going to need, a lot of people have red eyes on set and they wear contacts like me, and I have allergies, so this is the Opticon Allergy Eye Relief. You can just get redness eye drops, and you can also put this in eyeshadow to make it more pigmented. This is so good and handy. Another great thing, this is optional and super excessive. You could just probably have some tissue underneath the eye, but these are the shadow shields, and you can just stick it on there and you won't have shadow fallout onto the beautiful foundation you put on someone's face while you're doing an intense smoky eye eyeshadow. Some more things that you're going to go through so much of, which is tissue paper. This is going to be good for getting different disinfectants and that 99% alcohol and stuff like that to wipe down your station completely clean after you left. You have to leave it just as clean as when you got there when you leave. And this is good for tucking in someone's costume or whatever they have so you won't get makeup on it. Another thing for that is these barber drop cloths. This one's waterproof for special effects I use, and then I use this white one, or they have this in black, where you just like snap this around their neck so you won't get their outfit all dirty with makeup. They also have these, which I was trained to use. I don't know if you really need them. These are neck strips so that makeup doesn't fall under it onto their neck, and it keeps their neck a lot more comfy. Another thing you're really going to need is, if you don't have the money to buy beauty blenders or their alternative dupes that are a lot cheaper, which is like the $7 Expert Real Techniques makeup sponge, what I would suggest you get is just the traditional disposable makeup sponge, and I would suggest you get latex free ones. Like these are my favorite. They're the Cosmetic Latex Free Professionals by Up and Up from Target, which are really cheap and they're latex free. Another thing you're going to use a lot of is baby wipes and makeup remover wipes. The Simple brand makeup remover wipes are my favorite, and they're good for sensitive skin and everybody, and they're cheap. And I use a lot of hand sanitizer when I'm working in the beauty industry, because this will clean your station, clean your makeup palettes that you have, like, you know, makeup on, and it'll clean your hands, all the gunk out of it in between clients, because you've touched someone else's face, you're going to touch another person's face, and maybe you want to have nicer clean skin. I love this foamy one, which is more expensive. You don't need this one. This is the alcohol free one, so it doesn't leave my hands dry, and it's like foamy and nice. It looks like, I don't know why, it just feels like it's getting more clean with this. I really like this Kleenex brand one. So many times I go through these. These are disposable powder puffs. I like these thicker, fluffier ones. They come thinner, and the ones that you can find that are these puffy with the ribbon, they're more expensive, but they're so great because like your hand attaches to them, and on the ribbons you could write the person's actor's name, because sometimes you need to have, like, in your train case, bring like a little tiny makeup bag that's empty that you could take with you on set if you need to touch up someone at a photo shoot, on set for a movie or TV show. You need to be prepared. And I would also suggest the very tiny little baby powder puffs with the ribbon, because those are good when you're applying makeup to someone's face. You don't want to rest your hand and fingers on their actual face while you're applying things, because it's just not as sanitary, not as professional. You don't want your fingernails, you don't know what's under there. I wash them every single time and get all the crud out, and I don't have sparkly nail polish like this when I'm working on a professional set. I may have clear nail polish and just regular nails usually, and you don't want that really close, so you get the tiny, not this, but a tinier one with the ribbon like this, and you apply someone's makeup. So it's just a lot more sanitary and fancy, yes, but you won't smear the makeup that you did with like your hand or anything. And speaking of cleaning, you need to clean your face. I love this micellar cleansing water from Garnier, which is a cheaper alternative to the Bioderma, which is great stuff. And it's just so gentle. And you just put it in a cotton pad for people with sensitive skin. This is so good. I use a makeup remover wipe on a client, and then I'll go in with a cotton pad with this, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is really nice and gentle. I'm like, I know, right? And when you're doing multiple clients, sometimes you need to like have a makeup brush and you already used it, but it's the same person, so you could still use it on them, but there's color on it. And what if like you didn't have time to wash certain makeup brushes and you only had like 4 makeup brushes to use on this one person? These are where the color switchers come in. You could easily make these, because these are pricey, out of like the black sponge material. That you could get this black sponge material literally at a Halloween store. This is the industrial one that you could put on your arm, and I think it like fits a makeup brush here. So fancy. It looks like I'm going fencing at the Renaissance Fair. But they also have this baby one, and you can check with the white area if your brush doesn't have any product on it left over. You just swirl it around here. I think the design of this is a lot better, and like I said, you can make this really cheaply, like with the Altoids big container and like this black sponge. You just cut it and make it yourself. And I get this black sponge from the Halloween store also. It's literally what it is. I don't know why I bought this. I think I bought this when I first started makeup school and I didn't know what I was doing with my life. And I get these black sponges and I put them at the bottom of a like container and put some 99% alcohol or 70% or like some type of makeup remover, and then 99% is great because it dries fast and it really disinfects your brushes in between clients, like I said. Another thing that people don't think of that you might need on set is a first aid kit, because you never know, and what really helps is liquid bandage. I don't know how many times liquid bandage has come in handy. If you have like a oozy giant pimple, you could just put a little tiny bit of liquid bandage over it to smooth it out so it won't drip on the makeup anymore. I know that sounds disgusting, but it really helps. What people also don't think of that you need on set is breath mints. You're really up and close personal with your client putting makeup on them. You don't want stinky breath, and usually I've had Red Bull or coffee, depending on what I'm going through and what my day is like. You're working, sometimes I'll be on set working for 14 hours a day, no joke. So you make sure between lunch and stuff, if you have lunch breaks, to get your breath smelling fresh and have plenty of water around you with straws in your water so you won't get your makeup all gross. And even if your client has a drink and you don't want their makeup or lipstick to smear, if you have a straw for them that's like pre-wrapped or something, that would be great. People don't think of that either. Also, I didn't forget this, makeup brushes really help. I love for basic like beauty makeup brushes, the Real Technique brushes are really affordable and great. Ego Tools is okay. Cesaro is really good. Some of Sigma brushes are really good. Morphe, I heard, is great. MAC, if you could afford it. Just any type of makeup brushes that you like that will be indestructible from alcohol and different types of cleaning projects, because you don't want a bad brush to shed on you during a makeup job. And these like cups really help. I always make sure I have not only cups for my makeup brushes, but a big bowl or cup for all the dirty ones so I won't get it mixed up between clients. And I'm going to speak about this in the next video. You do not want to mix your special effects makeup brushes with your beauty ones. Last but not least, you need to make sure that you have a business card. I am not joking here. When you are a freelance makeup artist, you really want to not be too showy, but you want to have maybe a little stand with your business card. Like, be very friendly. Don't have a face where you seem very irritated. You are like a host. Even at a restaurant, this is like someone's coming into your home. You have to act like this is your guest. You're here to pamper and prep them for their job. You have to make sure that you're on top of their makeup and know what type of makeup they need. They might not always know what type of makeup they need. Sometimes some clients try to convince you to do a certain makeup that might not be the look that the director on the show or movie wants. So you need to make sure you know exactly what type of makeup needs to go on them and have a business card. It could be not something super extravagant. I even think my first business cards were super extravagant. I spent a lot of money on them and it wasn't that great of an idea because people just want something simple, not extravagant. You just need like your website. You don't even have to give out your phone number. You just put your email on there and not be too personal with it. Maybe have a certain logo. You don't even have to necessarily have your face on it. Maybe a sample of your makeup, your favorite one that you've done, and what type of makeups you do. Maybe you do beauty, maybe you do fantasy, maybe you do avant-garde, maybe you do fashion makeup, maybe you do special effects makeup, maybe you do body painting. We're gonna go through more of the body painting and special effects in the next video. I hope you guys liked this beauty makeup essentials kits video. It was a long one, but leave me a comment if you think I forgot anything, because maybe I'm pretty sure I certainly did, because it took me forever to gather these products. I wasn't sure I was going to show you all of them, but I wanted to make sure you know exactly what you should have in your beauty essentials makeup kit. I literally almost forgot to put eyeshadows in here, so I'm pretty sure there's something that I forgot. Thank you guys so much for watching, hanging out with me today. I hope you were well informed on what you should have in your beauty essentials makeup kit. And we will see you in the next video. I'll be probably wearing the same thing because I'm just gonna go through everything and film everything. It's just gonna be a continuation, the first part, like the Harry Potter series, but not as epic. And so the next series will include more extravagant, crazier products that I absolutely love. And I love you guys, and I will see you in the next part 2 of special effects makeup. I feel so... Peace. Love you guys. Bye.